It's the Terrible at Fishing radio show on Gold Country Radio. Here's your fishing expert and host, Michael Ruffino.
Welcome back to Terrible at Fishing, everybody. I hope you've had a very good week. I was out of town last week. We'll talk about that. Did some fishing out of town. So you heard a replay of one of my old shows last week, so apologize for that. But 52 shows a year, I get a couple days off. So this week has been, we'll start with bad news and we'll just forget about it for now. But this week was a bad week for our family. We had to make a decision about our dog. And y'all know what that decision was. Great dog. Got her from a no-kill shelter some 14 years ago, and she was a good dog. And really, she adopted my oldest daughter. Slept with her every day. So it was the only time I've ever been in the room when they euthanized the animal. I had to support my daughters and be there with them. So it was hard, and you guys know that. Losing a dog is different than any other animal. And I don't know why we bond so well to dogs, but we do. And well, if you've ever had to make that decision to lose an animal, you know how our family's coping. We're grieving still, and we probably will for a while. On the other hand, there's a little kitten in the backyard underneath the porch that seems to have adopted our porch. So, I don't know if that's just coincidence or not, but named it Java. It's black with a little bit of white under its chin. Anyway, in the backyard somewhere. So anyway, that was the bad news. Now last week, I was out of town. My wife graduated OIT with her bachelor's degree in hospital administration, and she got a job right away, which is woo. So she started her new job this week. So we wanted to celebrate her huge accomplishment. So we went to Lincoln City. My youngest went with us, and we went to Lincoln City, got a verbo right on the beach there, opened the window, there's the waves, sound of the ocean. You could see dolphins every once in a while surfing. Really good surf, a lot of sand. It looked like a California beach. And the dolphins were well, actually, there was one time a dolphin and a harbor seal were actually playing with each other. They were just almost like playing tag in the waves. And then whales showed up. Several pods of whales were right there, right off of Lincoln City there. So it was really nice. I'd never been to Lincoln City. And Lincoln City's got everything you can imagine, with a view that is to die for. And strongly recommend that. Probably do it again. But we're sort of working our way up the coast, but that definitely is on the agenda to do it again. Now, in the meantime, I wanted to do some fishing, some deep sea fishing. So I went to Depoe Bay and jumped onto what I used to call a cattle boat. Just a bunch of people on a boat. And we had 18, I think, on that boat. And so I get on one of these, and it's a bottom fishing where you catch ling cod, rock cod, stuff like that. And I wasn't doing too good. It was so funny. The deckhand, Grant, he asked me, he goes, so Mike, what do you do for a living? I go, well, I'm terrible at fishing. And he started laughing. He goes, no, really? I go, really? I'm terrible at fishing. I have a YouTube channel called Terrible at Fishing. I have a radio show called Terrible at Fishing. I have a best-selling book called Terrible at Fishing. I go, you really do have somebody on the boat that is defined by terrible at fishing. And he started laughing. And so does a few other people. He told the captain, and the captain couldn't believe that he had somebody called terrible at fishing on his boat. I did catch one cod, and I thought I'd do some crabbing while I was on this group trip, and I pulled up a crab cage, and so we had a lot of crab, and so we caught a lot of crab. Which, by the way, I have found out that crabbing, one, it's easy. Two, they ain't worth it. I mean, it's just, you gotta, I'm a lobster guy, not a crab guy. Lobster's easy. Big giant tail, crack it open, boom, there's the meat. And it's a lot of meat. Crabs, Dungeness crabs, not like king crabs. I've gotten king crabs. There's a lot of meat inside a king crab. But Dungeness crab, it's just not that big. And so, I'm cracking all the legs and pulling the meat out and crack and pull, crack, pull. And I'm like, and I look down in that bowl where all the crab meat is. It was about a pound. And you think, Mike, a pound's pretty good. It's like $80 retail, right? It don't look like that much. It's a lot of work for that, a pound of meat. But the crew were fantastic. They really were. I didn't do too good. I had never gone deep sea fishing without using live bait. Now, I'm from a beach community, Santa Barbara County, and Southern California. I mean, we fished off of, took boats out of Avila, out of Ventura. It's just, we always fished our bait, usually squid. What are those called? Sabiki rigs. We just go up, put them down there, pull, and just start pulling up bait fish, right? Usually squid. And then after we catch a whole bunch, then we go out and we go bottom fishing. And you always catch a bunch. Well, in this boat, they didn't use live bait. They used what I would call just a jig. It was a big jig. It was about a 2-ounce head on it with a curly tail plastic on it. And then a small sort of rock cod jig just above it. And people were catching, but it's just not in the volume that I'm used to it. If we used squid or mackerel or whatever we have for bait fish up here, we caught a lot of mackerel down in Southern Cal, you would catch a lot more fish if you use live bait. And a sabiki rig is easy. It's got like 5 hooks on it, a little bit, little balls on it. And you could just go off of a boat or off of a pier and just drop it down, jig it a little bit, and boom, get 2 or 3 fish on it, pull it up, and that becomes your bait. And that's the easy part about sabikis. I should have brought my pole with a sabiki rig and pulled up some live bait. I didn't think about it. I didn't think I needed it because every boat I've ever gone out does that. This is the first boat I was not prepared. I mean, I had my rod in the car and my sabiki rigs. Believe it or not, I had everything in the car, but I thought I'd use their stuff. I should have brought my stuff, and if I used it, great. If I didn't, fine. But next time, live and learn. We're definitely using a sabiki next time, and we're going to start pulling up some bait fish, and we'll be using that. But that was fun. It was fun. I had a great time with everybody. You know me, I've never met a stranger, make friends with everybody. and make them laugh and just have a good time. And we had a good time, really did. And so after that, the next day, my daughter wanted to go whale watching. So I booked us on a 2-hour trip to go whale watching the next day. And the gray whales, not a whole lot of them. In fact, we just left Depoe Bay, and all of a sudden you see this ring of boats. That's because they're surrounding the only whale in the ocean. At least that day. It was so funny. It was like all the boats were keeping a distance from this whale, which is legal. You have to give them distance. And everybody's watching this whale. I put a video of it on my Terrible at Fishing YouTube channel. But it was funny because it was the only whale. After a while, we left that whale looking for more whales. And we go all the way down to Devil's Punch Bowl and come back. I didn't see a whale. I didn't even see dolphins. I really didn't. It was like, where's all the mammals at? I was looking hard. I had my binoculars. I was looking hard. But when we get back, my little girl loved it because she got to see whales sort of up close. You're only allowed certain distances from whales legally. I think it's 100 feet. And so we get back to our Verbo, our little beach house, and then I think it was the next day, we see 3 whales out our window. That's 2 more than we did when we paid to see whales. So yeah, it was really cool. And we did some, walking on the beach, collecting some shells and whatnot, whatever, and did some shopping. I got this new game called Canvas. It's a board game, a family board game, and I love it. I love it. You get to make pieces of art and score points, and Canvas is a great, great board game, by the way. And to be honest, easy to learn and tricky and complicated to there's strategy to it, but it's a very easy game, and I am not for complicated games. I'm just not for that. And you got about 50,000 pieces in front of you, and you got to figure out what does what. That's not fun. But that was, again, if you ever go, just go online and check out that board game called Canvas. They've got 2 expansion modules. I only got the main one and wanted to see if I liked it. Some girl inside the game store just said, "You got to get this." And so, okay, I'll get it. I was such a softie. I wasn't feeling too good. So okay, I'll get it. So it was just a lot of fun. Lincoln City is, I know you all have probably been there many times, but it was my first time, and I loved it. Really was a very nice place. And the neighbors that lived there, they were on the beach. They were very sweet. Seemed like good people were living there. So, and we went into stores and stuff like that. I talked to everybody, and they seemed very down to earth, everybody there. So, but that is this last week and a half, 2 weeks. In our next segment, we'll go over fishing reports, but I'll also go over this week. I went on my first bike fishing trip. I know. I bought an e-bike to go fishing, and you're going to hear all about it in this next segment. So stay tuned, listen to our sponsors, and if you want to sponsor and support community radio, please contact the station and hey, sponsor my show. It is the number 1 show on the radio, so I think you ought to sponsor my show. Maybe I'll give you, some free baits. Anyway, you guys take care. We'll see you. Well, actually, you'll hear me in just a few minutes.
The Terrible at Fishing Radio Show. Michael's got the secrets and now you know. Can't line your cast, just find Gold Country Radio.
This is Dave. Dave makes the tastiest burritos in town. But
nobody knows I exist. I'm serving culinary masterpieces to my mom and a raccoon named Dennis.
then came Jenny.
Dave, have you tried radio?
Radio, isn't that for traffic reports and late-night alien talk?
It's also for thousands of people who don't know you exist. Yet, radio is affordable, reliable, and it works. Not instant burrito fame, but people start showing up kind of results.
So I partnered with Gold Country Radio, and now people know I exist. I've got new customers, catering calls, and Dennis brought a possum. I think they're dating.
I told you, radio gets your business heard.
Next up, we a second table, maybe indoor seating.
Want to get your business heard? Visit goldcountryradio.org and click contact to get started. Radio, small budget, big reach, real results.
Out in the backwoods under the stars, I tune in the radio from my old car. Gold Country Radio on Friday night. Terrible at fishing, but it feels just right.
All right, welcome back to Terrible at Fishing. So, how terrible am I at fishing? Well, I already told you about last week, where I went deep sea fishing, caught one cod. A lot of crap, one cod. And everybody laughed because I was the terrible at fishing guy on the boat. And that's fine. I mean, if you're going to be known as something, own it. Just soak it up. That's you, man. I mean, just be proud of your identity, even if it's not really complimentary. So this week, you guys know I bought an e-bike because I can't drive anymore. And my neurological symptoms have crept back in. And basically, I've suffered blackouts. I mean, it's like turning off a light switch. I'll be fine, and then bam, I'm off. And then bam, I'm back on again. Dizzy, disoriented, but I'm there. And you can't be driving a car doing that. Just can't. So, in order to have us, to promote public safety, I'm not driving. It's voluntary, but I would hate to have that happen and somebody get hurt, or worse yet, die. So, I don't drive. But I bought a bike. You're thinking, Mike, what's the difference between driving a car and a bike? Well, the difference is 3 tons of metal and me. I could hurt myself, but I'm not going to hurt anybody else. And, but, you got to get around. I mean, it could black out crossing the street. So, I mean, you can minimize the damage, but you're not going to, the best thing to do is try not to hurt anybody else. So I got a bike, and then I fitted my bike with fishing rod holders, among other stuff. I mean, I made my bike a fishing machine. I got 3 rod holders on it, and I think my rods are 7.5 feet, so they are the tallest bike flags in town. And I went bike fishing Wednesday, and I got up early. I put my phone on the phone holder on my bike, and I type in my Google, and I wanted to go to Crystal Springs Park ramp right there over at Lost River. So I punch in Crystal Springs, and it gives me this bike route. Most of it is on the OCE trail. So I get on my bike, and there's my map, and I wear a full helmet. I don't like those little cap helmets. Because I really think if I know I'm going to fall off one day, I'm going to crash. So what's going to, keep my jaw from breaking? And then I can't talk. You might as well kill an Italian. So I got a full helmet. Got my biker gloves, and I got pads. I know I'm going to fall one day. It's just going to happen. Even if it might be a blackout, but I'll fall down. And I just want to minimize the damage to me. So I go down, and I'm heading down. I go down East Main Street there, and by Cook, and it takes a little dirt road past a lot of homeless people there till I find OCE Trail, where there are more homeless people there. Never went that way before, but I think that's where homeless encampments are. And so I'm going down the OCE Trail, and it's about 10 miles, all right, to get to this one spot. I fished a spot before because it's the boat ramp. I've launched there, fished that area. It's best by the dam, by the way, but yeah, we'll find out. If you watch the video, you'll see that using a Google map is not the best thing in the world. It's just not. So it takes me all the way down to this, what did not look like a road. It didn't. It looked like a path to somebody's house, but it was called Reeder Road, I think it's called. And so I'm looking at it, and you'll see it in the video, and I'm thinking that's not really a road, but Google says go that way. And I'm thinking if I'm going on some guy's private property, I'm probably going to die. It's an open carry state. I'm going to die. So I go down this dirt road, and I'm waiting for a dog to chase me, a bull to gore me, a lot of cows. And then I ran across this kamikaze chicken. This thing chased, went in front of me. It was missing like half its feathers. It was just an ugly chicken, and I think it just wanted to kill itself. But I got past the kamikaze chicken and continued going down, and then the road turns hard left, but Google says keep going straight. There's definitely not a road there. There are tractor tread tracks. So I can see the finish line. I can see the lake, all right? And I'm thinking, okay, I'll do it, but I'm going to stay in the tread, in the track, so I don't, if I do hear dueling banjos, I can beg for mercy because I did not damage his property. So I start down this, tractor tread path, and I could just hear a little boy saying, Papa, there's a fat guy on a bike in our field. And I'm thinking, Papa going to grab his long gun and, zero in on me. I'm just thinking, I'm waiting for the dueling banjos. And it was long. This is a couple miles. And I'm going through this guy's property. And I finally found a dirt road. And I turn right, because that's what Google says. And I'm thinking, oh, finally a road, but it doesn't feel like a road. And then I notice I'm on somebody else's property. So I stop at the guy's gate, and I'm looking for, trespassers will be killed signs. That's what I'm looking for. We will shoot on sight. But I didn't see any signs like that. I said, well, okay. Deep breath. I see a dog. It looks like a nice dog. I go forward onto this guy's property, through his property, and the dog just looked at me while I drove by it. There's some horses on the left, and I'm not too afraid of horses. Keep going, get past that house, go by another house, and finally get to a road, Crystal Springs Road. So I was like, all right, I made it. And I didn't get shot. So there's a guy over on the fishing dock, at the boat ramp. He was fishing. That really was the spot I wanted, but that's all right. So I went up onto the overpass, the bridge, and it's got a wider area on the pedestrian walk in order for you to fish. So I figured I'll just set up shop here, fish off the bridge. And the water was really, really stained, almost a rust color. It looked bad, but I've seen water like this, and even though the water is, looks like rust, it actually isn't as dirty as you think it is. And remember, this is Lost River, basically. And the reason it's wide is because of the dam. So I don't want you guys to see, necessarily see. There are places in Florida, and they have brown water, and it's actually fine for fish to be pulled from it and be eaten. Now, I'm not sure if that's the case here, but I've seen it. So I started casting. I was using a small little tube jig and threw that in there, and it wasn't getting any hits. And so I figured, okay, I'll throw a medium dive jig or a bait out there. That didn't get anything. I did see a small fish break surface where there was an otter. And so I figured, okay, I didn't check the temperature of the water. But I figured, okay, I'll throw a frog over there. It's all a bunch of vegetation and stuff. So I threw a frog over there and skipped the frog through this vegetation, and still nothing. I figured, okay, well, I'll go down to the dam, see if I can't get over to the dam. So I take Crystal Springs Road to some other road, and it takes it all the way down, and found out what I thought was going to be there, a gate and a fence, because there's a hatchery there too at the dam. So I couldn't get in. I had to give it up. And I put in about 40 miles on my bike, believe it or not. I did. I put about 40 miles on it. And the bike did really, really well. I had about 25% charge on the bike even coming home. So 40 miles for a fat guy on a bike, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. So that was my fishing adventure this week. So let's look at our stocking schedules for our area. So let's go to southeast. Here we go, southeast. Let's see if we can't get this. Now, I backdated a little bit, so because you didn't hear me last week. So the week of the 16th through the 20th, that was the Derby. They had 970 fish stocked that week, 670 at Lake of the Woods, 670 legals, 300 trophies. Lake of the Woods, then on the 23rd through 27th, which is this week, they got 300 trophies. 300 trophies this week. So again, these are probably stocked at the main ramp, although Aspen, I think, should be open. So they might have gone there. And Lake of the Woods, next week, for 4th of July weekend, they're going to have a similar stocking as they had for the children's event. It's 670 legals and 300 trophies for 970 fish. So that's next week there. And then the following week, they're getting a lot of fish, Lake of the Woods. The following week is going to have 300 trophies. So that's the week after 4th of July. So 300 trophies will be stocked. They usually stock Thursday or Friday at Lake of the Woods, but they did do it on a Wednesday too this season. So keep an eye out for that. 4 Mile Lake, the week of the 16th, got 2,000 put in there, 1,000 legals, 1,000 trophies. They also, next week, they're going to get 2,000 legals. That's a lot for that lake, and 400 trophies. So 2,000 legals next week, and 400 trophies. That's at 4 Mile Lake. You really got to check out 4 Mile Lake. The following week, which is the week after 4th of July, 1,000 legals and 400 trophies. A lot of stocking right now. This is a great time to hit the local lakes. Really good. Now there's Campbell Lake. They're getting 2,200, or they got 22. Actually, this week, 2,200 legals at Campbell. Anna Reservoir, also 2,400 next week. 2,400 legals next week at Anna Reservoir. So there are some really good stuff. Fish Lake. Let's look at Fish Lake. Fish Lake, the week of July 4th, which is next week, they're getting 2,000 legals and 500 trophies. So Fish Lake's getting 2,000 legals and 500 trophies next week. So again, great fishing. Really, really, really good fishing. You guys got to get out there. I wish I had a car I could get up there. I really do. I mean, I could catch fish. All right, Medco Pond. I keep telling you about this cute little pond to go to. Medco Pond is a great pond to go to. They just, a week and a half ago, got 1,100 legals put in there. That's a great little pond. Great little pond. And this one right here has got Lost Creek Reservoir, okay, big reservoir. They always get a whole bunch, and this is no joke. So a week and a half ago, they got 10,000 legals and 1,500 trophies put in it. 10,000 legals and 1,500 trophies a week and a half ago. You guys got to check some of these places out because it is just fantastic. This is the best time of year to go fishing. If you gotta believe me. You just gotta believe me. All right, where am I going here? Let's go all zones, and then I always forget Willow Lakes, Willow Creek Reservoir, or no, Willow Lake, formerly Willow Creek Reservoir, I think, whatever. And let's see that, because I love Willow Lake. And they're not getting any stocking. All right. So those are some of the best things about what's going on right now. And I've told you to follow the stocking. I hope you enjoy fishing this time of year. I will see you guys around town because I'll be fishing around town. Just look for my big bike flags. Take care and tight lines to each and every one of you.
That was Terrible at Fishing, the radio show, with fishing expert Michael Ruffino. Check out Terrible at Fishing on YouTube and tune in next week for the next episode and more great fishing tips. Terrible at Fishing, Fridays at 7 p.m. on Gold Country Radio.